Have you ever felt it? The quiet tension in a room when she's near, but she's acting distant, like there's something she's not telling you, something buried just beneath her calm exterior. That unease you feel isn't your imagination. Women are masters at hiding what they feel, especially when it comes to intimacy. But here's the truth most men never realize. Even when a woman appears closed off, her body, her voice, and even her pauses are screaming her intentions. And if you can read them, you gain a level of understanding most men will never have. Before I reveal exactly what to look for, you need to understand why this happens. Women hide their feelings for many reasons. Fear of rejection, past heartbreak, societal conditioning. But hiding doesn't mean she's not deeply interested. Often, the more she resists, the more she's craving connection. The tricky part is that most men misinterpret hesitation as disinterest. They pull back, thinking they've lost her, but in reality, they've just missed the subtle invitations she's been giving all along. That's why so many men feel confused and frustrated in dating today. It's not about what she's saying, it's about what she's not saying. Now I want you to do something very important. Pause for a moment and imagine the last woman you were interested in. Think about the little moments, how her eyes lingered just a second too long, how her voice softened when she spoke to you alone, how she laughed at your jokes but quickly hid it when someone else looked. These aren't coincidences. These are her signs of desire, hidden in plain sight. They're like breadcrumbs she leaves, waiting for a man who's willing to see them. If you want to spot intimacy before she tells you outright, you have to train yourself to notice her micro-behaviors. The way she subtly mirrors your movements, the timing of her texts, the tone when she's distracted versus when she's talking to you. These are all clues. Men often dismiss these because they aren't dramatic or obvious. But in reality, these tiny signals are her way of saying, I want you to see me, I want to be close, but I'm testing whether you can handle it. And if you can, you step into a space almost no other man reaches, a space of emotional vulnerability where she starts letting her walls down. Before we go further, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video, because everything I'm about to reveal is going to change the way you see women forever. These aren't generic dating tips. They're the psychological truths hidden from most men, truths that separate the men she notices from the men she forgets. Have you ever felt it? The quiet tension in a room when she's near, but she's acting distant, like there's something she's not telling you, something buried just beneath her calm exterior. That unease you feel isn't your imagination. Women are masters at hiding what they feel, especially when it comes to intimacy. But here's the truth most men never realize. Even when a woman appears closed off, her body, her voice, and even her pauses are screaming her intentions. And if you can read them, you gain a level of understanding most men will never have. Before I reveal exactly what to look for, you need to understand why this happens. Women hide their feelings for many reasons. Fear of rejection, past heartbreak, societal conditioning. But hiding doesn't mean she's not deeply interested. Often the more she resists, the more she's craving connection. The tricky part is that most men misinterpret hesitation as disinterest. They pull back, thinking they've lost her. But in reality, they've just missed the subtle invitations she's been giving all along. That's why so many men feel confused and frustrated in dating today. It's not about what she's saying, it's about what she's not saying. Now I want you to do something very important. Pause for a moment and imagine the last woman you were interested in. Think about the little moments, how her eyes lingered just a second too long, how her voice softened when she spoke to you alone, how she laughed at your jokes but quickly hid it when someone else looked. These aren't coincidences. These are her signs of desire, hidden in plain sight. They're like breadcrumbs she leaves, waiting for a man who's willing to see them. If you want to spot intimacy before she tells you outright, you have to train yourself to notice her micro-behaviors. The way she subtly mirrors your movements, the timing of her texts, the tone when she's distracted versus when she's talking to you. These are all clues. Men often dismiss these because they aren't dramatic or obvious. But in reality, these tiny signals are her way of saying, I want you to see me, I want to be close, but I'm testing whether you can handle it. And if you can, you step into a space almost no other man reaches, a space of emotional vulnerability where she starts letting her walls down. Before we go further, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video, because everything I'm about to reveal is going to change the way you see women forever. These aren't generic dating tips. They're the psychological truths hidden from most men, truths that separate the men she notices from the men she forgets. The second sign is almost impossible to catch if you're not paying attention, yet it's one of the most telling indicators that she's hiding feelings for you. It's in the way she shares small vulnerabilities, but only carefully, selectively. Not big confessions, not dramatic reveals, but tiny cracks in her armor, things she wouldn't normally admit to anyone else. Maybe she laughs nervously at something she did wrong, or she lets slip a fleeting insecurity. These moments are her testing the water, silently asking, "Can I trust you with me?" Notice the timing. She doesn't drop these details in public, around her friends, or over texts without context. She chooses moments when it's just the two of you. Her eyes search yours for a reaction. Your tone, your response, your ability to hold space without judgment. If you meet her in that moment with calm reassurance, she feels seen. But if you dismiss it or overreact, she retreats back behind her walls. Every little vulnerability she shows is a calculated risk. Women are wired this way. To them, intimacy is dangerous until they know it's safe. Here's the psychological truth most men miss. When a woman offers these small windows into her world, she's emotionally investing in you without even saying it. She's drawing a line between casual interaction and meaningful connection. And the fascinating part is how subtle it is. Many men don't even notice it, chalking it up to randomness or politeness. But if you train yourself to recognize it, you suddenly understand her hidden desire. You see the door she's nudging open, hoping you'll walk through. This is where men often blow it. They either ignore it, underestimate it, or respond with awkward jokes, thinking she's just being friendly. That's a trap. She's watching your reaction as much as she's revealing herself. The right response is quiet validation. Acknowledge the vulnerability, but don't turn it into an interrogation or a display of pity. Treat it like a treasure she's entrusted you with, because that's exactly what it is. She's inviting you into a deeper emotional space that very few men are allowed to enter. Here's the thing. These subtle moments of shared vulnerability are more honest than anything she'll ever say outright. They carry emotional weight that words alone can't capture. And if you're paying attention, if you're truly present, you can read these signs like an open book. They tell you exactly what she's feeling, even when her words deny it. The men who understand this are the ones women remember. They're the men who make her feel safe enough to reveal her heart without her ever saying, "I want you." The next sign is physical. Tiny, almost unconscious gestures that betray the desire she's hiding behind her calm, controlled exterior. Now we're entering the realm where words don't matter at all, because her body speaks louder than anything she could ever say. The fourth sign is in her micro-gestures, the tiny, almost imperceptible movements that betray desire. It's how she subtly leans toward you when no one's looking, or how her hand lingers near yours without ever touching. Maybe she brushes her hair back, not because it's habit, but because her brain is sending signals she can't control. These are subconscious invitations, and if you miss them, you miss the truth she's desperately trying to communicate. Here's the tricky part. Women who are hiding feelings often overcompensate with restraint. She may cross her arms, keep her legs tightly together, or angle her body slightly away. But then watch closely. Her shoulders shift subtly, her gaze flickers back to you, or her foot taps in your direction when she thinks you aren't noticing. That contradiction is her inner conflict, her desire versus her fear of showing it. The tension you feel? That's exactly what she wants you to sense. She's testing your awareness, your sensitivity, and whether you can recognize intimacy without her spelling it out. Men often misinterpret these gestures as disinterest or politeness, and that's why so many fail. The real challenge is reading what isn't obvious. A shoulder glance, a tilt of the head, or a small touch that seems accidental. Those are her secret invitations. She's asking you without words to step closer, to meet her on an emotional and physical level. Most men will ignore it because they're waiting for grand gestures or verbal confirmation, but intimacy rarely comes that obvious. Here's the strategy. Notice, don't overreact. Allow your body language to respond subtly. Lean in when she leans. Mirror her gestures gently. Maintain eye contact that's warm but not intimidating. This creates a rhythm of connection she won't resist. She'll feel seen, safe, and understood without ever having to say it aloud. And when she realizes you notice these hidden cues, She begins to lower her defenses entirely, letting her desire surface in ways that surprise even her. Micro gestures are powerful because they bypass the conscious mind. They are instinctual, honest, and revealing. The men who can read them gain a silent edge, a window into her hidden feelings before she ever admits them. This is the kind of awareness most men never develop, and yet it's exactly what separates men she craves from men she forgets. The next sign is even more subtle. It lives in her communication patterns, the words she chooses, and the pauses she leaves behind. Now let's talk about something most men completely overlook: her communication patterns. This isn't about what she says, it's about how she says it. Women hiding deep feelings are masters of subtlety here. Notice the pauses in her speech, the way she hesitates before answering certain questions, or how she carefully chooses words that reveal a little, but not everything. Every carefully measured pause is a test. She's feeling you out, seeing if you notice the unspoken messages she's embedding in her tone. It's even more pronounced over text. Look at how she structures messages. Does she reply quickly sometimes, but then slow down at moments that seem inconsequential? Does she use playful language, emojis, or tiny hints that only you would understand? These are breadcrumbs, and they're far more revealing than a casual "hey." She's intentionally letting parts of herself peek through, gauging your reaction. Most men dismiss this as randomness, but it's far from it. This is emotional risk disguised as ordinary conversation. Another layer is the choice of topics. Women hiding feelings often steer discussions toward shared experiences, private jokes, or emotional subjects that she might normally avoid. She's testing whether you can hold space for her vulnerabilities, and whether you're attuned enough to pick up on the deeper meaning beneath her words. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss it entirely. But the man who notices, who reads between the lines, taps into a level of connection she's been waiting for someone to reach. Here's the psychological reality. Communication isn't just about talking. It's about signaling safety and curiosity, about giving glimpses of herself without fully surrendering. When she texts at odd hours, sends thoughtful but indirect messages, or suddenly shares a detail that seems out of place, she's subconsciously pulling you closer. Her mind is saying, "I want intimacy, but I need to see if you're worthy of it." Most men respond with impatience or confusion. The men who succeed respond with curiosity, subtle engagement, and emotional attentiveness. Recognizing these patterns is like having a map to her hidden feelings. Once you understand the rhythm, the pauses, the selective sharing, you start to see a pattern emerge, an invisible trail she's leaving, revealing her desire for connection without saying it outright. This is not about manipulation. It's a test of your awareness, your patience, and your ability to meet her on a psychological level. Now we arrive at one of the most revealing signs, a sign most men overlook entirely because it doesn't scream desire. It's in how she orients herself around you. Her attention, her focus, the tiny shifts in proximity that betray what she's truly feeling. Watch how she positions herself in a group. Does she subtly turn toward you, even when she's pretending to engage elsewhere? Does she lean in slightly when you speak, or angle her body so she's always within your line of sight? These are unconscious signals, her body betraying the truth she refuses to voice. Women hiding feelings are masters of balancing closeness and distance. She'll give you enough access to test your awareness, enough warmth to intrigue you, but she won't go so far that she feels vulnerable. That's why her attention is selective. Her eyes may wander over the group, but when they return to you, there's a brief spark, an acknowledgement that you're the focal point of her hidden emotions. A man who notices this, who understands the subtle dance of proximity, instantly reads her desire. Even her small movements, shifting her bag closer to you, subtly mirroring your gestures, or pausing to linger near your side, carry weight. These are not accidents. They are instinctive, subconscious invitations to intimacy. Most men shrug them off, assuming politeness or habit. But these micro-adjustments are her way of testing your sensitivity, gauging whether you can perceive the invisible threads connecting you two. Here's where most men fail. They either misread these cues or ignore them entirely. They interpret distance as disinterest and closeness as flirtation. But in reality, women who hide feelings are constantly balancing curiosity with caution. The man who succeeds doesn't rush or overstep. He matches the rhythm, honors the subtle signals, and allows closeness to grow naturally. This is where emotional intimacy starts, long before words are exchanged. Pay attention to how she navigates shared spaces, how she reacts when you enter or leave a room, how she subtly signals availability without saying a word. These gestures are her way of saying, "I notice you, I want to be near you, and I'm inviting you to notice me too." It's quiet, it's understated, and it's far more honest than any verbal declaration. The final sign, the seventh, is the most powerful of all. It's something she cannot hide at all. No matter how much she tries, her emotional resonance with you. This is the one sign that no woman can completely hide, no matter how careful she tries to be. It's her emotional resonance with you. The way her mood, her energy, and even her subtle reactions mirror yours without her realizing it. When she's around you, notice how her laughter rises when yours does, how her tension eases when you're calm, or how a small smile appears at moments that only make sense in your shared presence. This is not coincidence. This is intimacy being expressed without words, a subconscious tether between her heart and yours. Women who hide feelings often do everything they can to mask their desire. But emotional resonance slips through because it's instinctual. It's the natural alignment of two human beings when one is drawn to the other. You can feel it even if you can't articulate it. The slight shift in her voice when you speak, the quickening of her heartbeat when your hand brushes hers, the warmth that lingers in her gaze when she thinks you're not noticing. These are the cracks in her armor, and they are more truthful than any confession could ever be. Here's the truth most men will never grasp. Emotional resonance is a litmus test. It reveals not just attraction, but investment. A woman who resonates with you on this level is unconsciously saying, "I am open to you, I am attuned to you, and I am letting myself feel something I may not fully admit." Men often dismiss this because it's subtle. They look for dramatic gestures or bold declarations, but resonance is deeper, more enduring, and far more telling. The men who notice this, the ones who can feel the unspoken energy between them and her, have a profound advantage. They understand when to lean in, when to hold back, and when to create space for her to let go of her defenses. They see the signals that other men miss, and they step into a rare form of connection, a connection rooted in awareness, patience, and psychological insight. This is where real intimacy begins, before any words are spoken, before any promises are made. So pay attention. Watch for the micro-gestures, the vulnerabilities, the mirrors, the attention, the subtle communication, and above all, the emotional resonance. These are the 7 signals she cannot entirely hide. Recognize them, respond with care, and you unlock a level of connection most men will spend their lives chasing without ever finding. When a woman's hidden feelings surface this way, you don't need her to say it. Her behavior tells the entire story, and the men who see it are the men she remembers, the men who matter.